Welcome. I'm Lorene Sorrow, and I'm a certified functional nutrition practitioner, and I specialize in gut health. And I'm hosting this series on gut health because I think you'll all find it very fascinating about what you can do to strengthen the quality and quantity of your gut microbes and therefore the quality and quantity of your life. That's how important gut microbes are to us. So, what we're talking about today is evidence that your gut may need extra help. So, what are the signs? What do you need to look for? Our goal here is to figure out the best ways to feed your gut so that you get what you're looking for from your body. All right, so let's get started. Oh, and by the way, if you could just click subscribe and give us a like if you like this content, then it'll just help us create more for you and put it out there for you. So, what is the evidence that you're underfeeding your gut? There are subtle signs that most people are missing. Most people tend to focus on things like bloating and gas and constipation and things like that, which are obviously issues going on in the GI tract. But they are not the only signs. And this is significant because if you miss these other signs, then you're really going to not understand how your whole body is being affected by your gut. I like using this analogy because it makes it so clear. All right. So if we think of our gut as an ecosystem, and it is a living ecosystem, no different than the soil or the atmosphere or any other ecosystem you can think of. And what we are looking for is more like we have on the right here. So what you can see here is lots of plants. Think of these as our microbes, right? So each one of those plants represents a microbe, and you can just see how many tons and tons of microbes there are in this healthy field. And they're all clamored together and they're working together. They're a community. They are a full realized ecosystem. But when you look at the picture on the left, what you see is what's happening in a lot of people's guts where they do not have a healthy environment for the microbes to thrive. So in this case, if the plants are the microbes, you can see how sparse the plants are. You can see the nature of if we think of all that dirt as the gut lining, it's not the healthiest looking. And so this is what we're trying to help. And the only way to have a well-functioning gut microbes situation going on is to have it look more like the right than it looks like on the left. And what this means is if you are not having this, you have low diversity. You are repeating the same foods all the time. You're not giving enough unique foods to the gut in order for it to feed itself. And you're missing microbial families, and you don't know what those microbial families do. They could do something extremely beneficial for your overall health. They can help you prevent different conditions from developing. You don't know. So the goal here is feed your gut for diversity and let the gut take care of you. These are some signs your gut is underfed. You have low or inconsistent energy. You have cravings, and you're seeing those as hunger signals, so you eat, but you don't recognize them. It's just a signal that is coming from the body trying to tell you to do something. Whenever you get a craving, you should be asking yourself, why? Why does the body want me to have this? Sugar cravings are really easy to understand. The body's saying, you need some glucose in your bloodstream and you need it now. And this is where the cravings come from. And it could be due for many reasons, but one of the reasons is lack of microbial diversity because the microbes regulate your blood sugar. And therefore, if you don't have enough of the right microbes to regulate your blood sugar, you could have your blood sugar swinging up and down. You could be getting these cravings all day long. It's going to vary from person to person and from food to food. You might have poor stress tolerance. So, what does that mean? So, normal stresses of our lives, which we all have, are causing way more emotional upheaval, are feeling far more intense than maybe the stress really requires, or you're just not coping well with everything that you have to do. You might also have a situation where you eat a meal and it just doesn't feel satisfying. We never talk about the satisfaction of food, right? Like really, are we not supposed to walk away from the table feeling satisfied? Like our body is happy? I'm sure you've had a meal like that where you've pushed away from the table and you just say, God, that was good. Well, that should be happening all the time. And what's supposed to also be satisfied is your microbes. So if the two of you can get together, your brain telling you how satisfying the meal is and your microbes telling you how satisfying the meal was, you're going to get much better performance from your microbes and your body. Irregular bowel movements. So you might be constipated one day, you might have a loose stool the next day. These are just different reactions happening on the ongoing basis of, taking food in and removing waste material later on. So, you have to pay attention to your bowel movements because remember that the gut is the colon. It's not your stomach, it's the colon. It also usually includes the small intestines in most conversations, but it will be definitely affecting how well you have a bowel movement. Now, we're taught to look only for digestive symptoms, right? But the gut speaks through energy. It's how it tells us it's not doing so well. And mood and cravings and resilience. And resilience is what we're going for. That is the biggest consideration that you have to consider. And when you're underfeeding your microbes, you may not always have the digestive distress you think you would because you may be eating the same foods all the time. You have the right microbes for those foods, and you are not any wiser that something else might be going on. So we want to look at some of these other areas as signs that you need to do some work to support your diversity of your gut microbes. Now, these early signs show up long before bloating and digestive pain. And so what we want to do is we want to start adding small amounts of food, just teeny tiny amounts of foods that we don't typically eat, so that we can start feeding the microbes that those foods feed. We want to think about different colors and fibers because fiber comes in different packages. There's not just one type of fiber, and every type of fiber feeds different types of microbes. The colors, the phytonutrients in the food also represent foods for microbes. It's not all they do, but that's one of the things they do. And so we can use color and different types of fiber as ways to expand our diversity. We also want to use more fermented foods, and we'll go more into this later on in the series, but the point is that you need some fermented foods in your diet on a regular basis, and you need more than one type. And what we're going to do is feed multiple families at once. And when we do all of these things and feed all of these families, we're going to have a balance in our gut that is much more beneficial to us and how we function. So, for you, if you want to know more, check out how to rebuild your gut resilience with the gut balance method. I've got the link in the chat discussion descriptor there below this video. And there's a free training that you can click on and learn more about how to do all of this. It's called the 4-Step Framework to Build a Resilient Gut and a Healthier You. So check it out and see if that's going to work for you because I think you'll find it's a simple, easy method in order to grow the microbes, but without causing a lot of hard work on your part. It's a really easy method, and all you have to do is just go very carefully and slowly adding new foods into your diet to build up the diversity that your microbes need. So learn how to nourish the microbial ecosystem without restriction, because that's probably the biggest mistake that people have been making. They've been pulling foods out when in actuality they should have been putting foods in.